it's Lizzie. So I'm filming this on Ash Wednesday, and today I'm going to talk about what I'm giving up for Lent. Comment below what you're doing for Lent. I'm just curious what everyone is doing.
I believe in life eternal. I believe in the virgin birth. I believe in the saints' communion and in your holy church.
I also wanted to officially announce that I am converting into Catholicism. I decided to convert into Catholicism last May, and then I started RCIA in September. So I'm coming into the church at Easter Mass. I'm gonna make an entire video really soon on why I'm becoming Catholic. I really hated Catholicism growing up, thought it went against the Bible, was twisting Christianity. Over the past year, I just did a ton of reading, read a lot of the church fathers, reread a lot of parts of the Bible as well. John 6, Matthew 16, that's why I'm converting. I just thought it would be impossible to make this video without it just being extremely Catholic, so I just wanted to get that out of the way. A lot of you were a huge integral part of my conversion and changing my thinking. So many of you reached out to me, left me really lengthy comments, messages. The past year has been horrible. I've cried so much. I'm gonna make a video too what I gave up to become Catholic, because it wasn't all fun learning about the early church. So excited. It was honestly horrible. It was really hard. So I'm kind of past the crying phase. It's kind of like that meme when you're falling into a sinkhole and about to die, and it's like denial, panic, like all these things. I'm really happy to be Catholic now. Mass was so good today, but the process of getting here was just really awful. So what I'm doing for Lent. So our priest told us that we should not just give up food for Lent. And he said you can give up food, but also do something else, because the whole point of Lent is growing closer to God and getting rid of anything in our life that is preventing us from being close to God. 2 videos ago, I talked about how I've had some disordered eating this year and just how I've been dealing with the stress of my bipolar not being balanced by depriving my body of food and just focusing so much on how I look. So that's kind of the background of why I'm doing this. But for Lent, I am eating. That's what I have to do. I started this a week ago, and it was really hard at first because I didn't want to eat and I had to force myself to eat. So basically, anytime I'm hungry, I have to eat. I'm not allowed to do any sort of calorie counting, not allowed to skip meals. Every time I go grocery shopping, I have to buy like a couple snack food or unhealthy foods. I know this is like the opposite of what people do for Lent, but I have the opposite problem. Also, I'm not allowed to look at my body in the mirror and analyze it. Like, here's my mirror right here. So I'll just show you guys. I would go like this. I don't want to like show my butt to you guys, but I would just like go like this in front of the mirror, and I would really want to see a thigh gap, want to see a flat stomach. So anytime I start looking in the mirror, assessing my body, I immediately start praying. So that's what I'm doing for Lent, just getting out of disordered eating, treating my body in a loving way. I'm doing a lot of other things too. So I'm also giving up a lot of my time and using it to connect with God. So over the past month, I've barely done my God time, haven't been reading my Bible that much, just because I've been sleeping like 12, 14 hours a day because my bipolar is so bad. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to work right now. Like, it's so freaking stressful when you're not awake for most of the day and then having to maintain like my YouTube channel. I focus so much on work instead of first focusing on God and letting Him guide my time management. So every morning, it doesn't have to be in the morning, but usually that's what I've been doing. I started this a few days ago. I read my Bible for 30 minutes and then I pray for 30 minutes. And when I pray, it can also be worship time. So I'm allowed to listen to Church of Christ a cappella songs, because I really miss Church of Christ sometimes. And I'm allowed to play my guitar and sing. So the prayer time can also be worship time. But what I've been doing for my prayer time the past week or so is I'll go running and run really far away and then walk back to my apartment for like 30 minutes, just walk around my city and pray about everything going on in my life, thank God for everything in my life, and then listen to worship songs or play on my guitar worship songs. I'm also reading through the entire Bible by Easter 2019. This guy at my parish and I are starting it, and I actually have some of you guys as my subscribers in the Facebook group. If you want to be a part of that, comment below. I might put you on my personal Facebook if I recognize your username. So it's pretty intense. We're reading like 12-ish chapters a week. I know the first week we're doing half of Genesis, and then we're doing the other half of Genesis, then Matthew, then Exodus, then Mark. So it's going back and forth between the Old and the New Testament. So I'm just really, really excited to read the entire Bible. I haven't read through the whole Bible since I was 16, and I'm 23 now, so it's been a while. So I actually got a new Bible that has the entire Bible in it, that has the books that Martin Luther took out of the Bible. Like, it has the full Bible, you know what I mean? And I was actually reading through Tobit over the past 2 days. I am obsessed. It's like my new favorite book of the Bible. This Bible I highly recommend. It has so many etymology notes, cultural context. It explains things so well. It has quotes from popes and the catechism as well. It's so huge, but it has everything you'd ever need. It's so good. Anyway, so I have a blank Bible, so I read this for 30 minutes every morning. The reading through the Bible thing is gonna be part of my devotional time, but not all of it. I'm also just gonna read whatever I want to read. Our priest gives us these at our church. So this is the daily readings for Lent. So I'm gonna do these probably every day as well. For me, I'm a workaholic. I love working. Often I work for 15 hours a day. So having to give up time, especially in the morning, right when I wake up, to pray and read my Bible is a huge sacrifice. My tendency just throughout my whole life is when I get really stressed, my tendency is to stop going to God and doing my devotional time and instead to be like Martha instead of like Mary. Like, my heart wants to be like Mary, but then Martha takes over a lot. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. Also, during Lent, I'm going to Mass 3 times a week. One of them is allowed to be a Protestant service just because some of my roommates started going to church and they wanted me to come with them because I'm like the token Christian in the apartment. And so they go to a Protestant church on some Sunday nights, so I'm allowed to go to that as one of my church services. I also have a Bible study I'm a part of on Wednesdays, so I might go to Mass before that. There's also on Sundays a Latin Mass that's like full Latin Mass that I sometimes go to, and we have a young adult Mass at my church. We have Mass every single day, and there's like 3 parishes within walking distance to where I live. So point being, it will be really easy to go to 3 Masses a week, and it'll be really healthy for me. I also have to read for 30 minutes every day, anything related to the church fathers, apologetics for Catholicism, anything like that, just because I'm coming into the church at the end of Lent. So I need to be 1000% convinced that Catholicism over Orthodox. I'm already 1000% convinced that I will never be Protestant. I would become atheist before becoming Protestant. If you reject Irenaeus on Marian dogma, or real presence communion, or that infant baptism is chill, you know what I mean? If you reject Irenaeus on something, then you might as well reject Irenaeus on proving Christianity at all and just not be a Christian. That's kind of what I mean. Like, everything goes together. Once you start reading the church fathers, Protestants rely on them but cherry pick. I'm never going to be Protestant. I love Protestantism in the sense that it's Christianity. They're my brothers and sisters in Christ. Like I said, I go to Protestant services sometimes. I love Protestantism. I love Church of Christ. But intellectually, I just think it's wrong. And I think there's a lot of evidence that it's wrong. Also, I wanted to recommend this book called The Best Yes by Lisa Turquoise, because what I was just talking about where I work too much and don't set aside time for God, this book kind of goes into that. So I'm gonna read this book, reread it during Lent. I'm gonna read a lot during Lent. I also have to write for 30 minutes every day because I have 2 manuscripts that are kind of finished. One is about bipolar disorder, one is about converting into Catholicism. I wrote a majority of both of them when I went manic and then kind of forgot about them and didn't care as much. Point being, I have to work on them for 30 minutes every day just because I know both of them will really help people and I know that will help me get closer to God. Also, I think some people could relate to this if you're bipolar and Catholic. So I am not fasting during any of the fasting times. I am already vegan, so I'm not gonna eat meat ever anyways. But what I mean is you're supposed to do like 2 smaller meals and then a regular meal, and I tried to do that today and it just made me feel really nauseous and dizzy just because my bipolar medicine kind of requires me to eat. And also just bipolar in general, when I don't eat, it messes up my bipolar even more. When I realized last April that I would be becoming Orthodox or Catholic, I was like, yeah, probably never gonna do the fast because I just know I have to eat. Obviously in Catholicism, you're allowed to not fast if it's a health problem. But I am vegan, so I'm definitely staying vegan. I love you guys so much, and I'm so happy that I'm Catholic now. I feel super Catholic today. Remember to comment below what you're doing for Lent because I love you guys and I'm interested in your lives and what you're doing. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!
I believe in the resurrection.